Okay, welcome to part three of going over what a good band three community activity proposal should contain. Um, and this lesson we will look at learning outcome two, the skills audit. Okay, so in your checklist, we've looked at what an LO3 could have. Okay, and now we're going to look at learning outcome two, where it's mainly about the skills audit and the personal development plan. That's really important. Okay, I know the heading here just says skills audit. It's not just that. One thing to note: there's no marks for just completing skills audits. Okay, filling out questionnaires, particularly the online ones that analyse a lot of the results for you, um, isn't going to get you good marks. Okay, it's straightforward. It's the identification of the skills you need to complete the task. Okay, and linking them to the results of your skills audit. That is where we're looking at band three. Okay, is relating what comes out of you auditing your skills, your generic skills, your specific skills, where your weaknesses are based on the results, based on the findings, and how you're going to develop those to do the best job you possibly can for your 30 hours. That's the detailed and comprehensive that we will be looking for. So these bullet points hopefully will cover this. Okay, and you will take each bullet point as they can, identify your own headings and go through the process in as much detail as possible. That's really important. Okay, I think identifying what you believe before you do any kind of audit is what is it you actually need. What generic skills do you need? Now, you should have done some skills audits, so we've done lessons on these. Things like planning, numeracy, communication, organization, all those skills, generic life skills, effectively, that you're going to need to do what you're going to do, and specific skills. Most of you are going to be coaching. Do you have the ability to coach? What do you understand? How to structure lessons? How to manage children if you're working with children? How to manage resources? All those sorts of things that you should be looking and identifying and those. So it could be a really nice, good mind map, say using Poplet that we've done before, or any other online tool. It could be within Word, anything where you are doing that and identify them. In bold you with explanation. Not that it has to be an essay, but just listing them doesn't make things comprehensive and detailed. Okay. Remember, band three. That's what we're looking at. Listing might make them feasible and have credibility and be realistic, but this explanation is what we want. Then take skills audits. You choose. It says from the toolkit here. So those are on Edmodo. There's a huge chunk of them. You may have done some already. Designing your own. I don't think you need to design your own for planning skills, but you might want to design your own for the specific skills you need. Yeah, okay. If you're coaching football, is there anything specific? Possibly general teaching skills as well that might not be covered in audits. How to control lessons, etc. You might want to sort of design your own, basically a list of questions where you could rate 1, 2, 3, 4, and then to pick your weaknesses out. So once you've done all this and you've identified them and you've taken some generic skills audits, you should have the ability now to analyze these in a detailed and comprehensive manner. Okay, you come up with headings, descriptions of different types of skills, and go through. Don't forget your strengths and your weaknesses in those. Okay, always relating them, the need for that skill. This is key to the project you're going to be doing. So if you've got a weakness in communication skills, identify why that's an issue for the project that you're going to be doing. Okay, and then how you're going to develop that. Constantly relating it back, okay? Not just making it a general thing all the time. You're going to be coaching football, or you're going to be coaching art or music, or you're going to be organising events for AfroCamp, etc. always relating the need of these skills and how they fit into the task that you're doing. Really important. So once you've got your weaknesses, you're going to create a personal development plan. Loads of templates online. We haven't given you anything for this because we don't want to lead you down a specific path, but you'll find tons of stuff on this. Again, in Edmodo, there is a section, okay, there is a section over here. Sorry, my notifications are up, for you on that. All right, so in Edmodo, you can go through those. Sorry, where were we? Yeah, and a good personal development plan with smart targets, etc. What help and resources could you need for this? Remember, you're always planning. It's a plan, okay? So you're always thinking about what you're doing or how you would go about doing it. If you're working in a team, it's always good to have a team skills audit, such as the Belbin one, which is on the system. There's loads of materials on that. It's a very common one for teamwork skills. Also, you could use that as well, even if you work in individual, because you are working with other people. You're working with a community. Those could be, I don't know, scout leaders, teachers, people to do with AfriCamp, charities, the students that you're going to be working with, okay? So nothing's going to be done on their own. So working in a team can also mean that you're working with other people as well. All right? Good preparation in this, having the skills audits done. You should really have an idea now on your strengths and weaknesses from that. The whole idea of the day is that you've planned everything out. You're just putting it together in a document. Don't go in blind where you haven't looked at these. So let's have a look at some of the work for this. Okay, I have got it prepped here somewhere for you. Downloaded, so we'll have a look at that now in a second. If it ever loads up, here we go. Okay, so we've got another one here. This is a different piece of work. Let me zoom it to an appropriate level. Okay, so we've done benefits, we've done that, so we're looking at skills. So the student, where they've gone, there are numerous skills which someone should have when dealing with children. So they've gone through and had a little analysis of personal and team skills needed because they're working with children. In this one, it's a maths club, I believe. Training that would be required, so the classroom management. How much health and safety do you know about, okay, when dealing with these things? So what do you need to find out for that? So there's the analysis beforehand. Done pretty well. Didn't use a mind map or anything, but wrote about them, bullet point them. We're always going to give you the opportunity to develop and put this together however you see fit. And then we've got a skills audit here. Here's one of the templates that came out of the toolkit. You have actually got access to this, and it goes through. It's quite a nice one because it gives you headings for you to your teamwork, your personal effectiveness skills, which is what we're analysing, presentation skills, communication skills, and you get a nice little overview at the end of strengths and weaknesses that you can put together. So there's one, and there's the other one. You probably recognise the Excel one that we do, which gives you a nice little web chart and an analysis there of main findings through that. Okay. Where this student did fall down a little bit, they do discuss it really. There's not a great personal development plan on how to improve their weaknesses, okay? So this one doesn't cover that great, but it's got a good start of what skills they think they need. So it's kind of like a self-audit. Then there's the ones from toolkits, ones that exist out there, strengths and weaknesses, what skills do you want to develop. They do discuss it down here a bit, the skills they need to develop. So there's kind of a personal development plan. This was a low end band 3 because of a weakness in personal development plan. The other stuff was good, but this was quite weak because there wasn't much of a plan. If you're planning something to develop, you should have the usual sort of time element with it and that kind of thing. Okay, so that's skills audit, LO2. Don't forget that within Edmodo you've got loads of other stuff there for you, information on that, the different audits, etc. Preparation is key with regards to this. So you've already planned out which audits you're going to do. You already kind of know where your strengths and weaknesses are, and you've got an idea of how you're going to develop those. constantly relating any findings that you've got back to, this is what the student did quite well, back to the task that they're doing, communication when delivering maths, okay? Relating back the skill needed to do that. Never just making it a general discussion about skills. It's skills that you have, that you need to develop, that are going to be useful, or going to be necessary, I should say, for your community challenge that you're doing. Okay, thank you very much.